My mother-in-law demands cash monthly, but I said no. Now she's trashing me to everyone, turning my husband against me, and I'm stuck wondering if I'm selfish for not caving to her endless guilt trips. I'm at my wit's end here, and I need to get this off my chest. It's been a rough few months, and last night was the straw that broke the camel's back. My mother-in-law called me up, screaming like a banshee, because, surprise, surprise, I won't give her money every month. She's been on this kick for a while now, and she straight up hates me for saying no. I'm not even exaggerating. She told me I'm a greedy witch who's ruining her son's life. Yeah, that's me, the evil wife who dared to set a boundary. Anyway, let me back up and explain how I got here because it's a whole mess, and I'm starting to wonder if I'm the one screwing up. I've been married to my husband, Travis, for about 5 years now. I'm 32, he's 34, and we've got a pretty solid thing going. Or at least we did until his mom decided I'm her personal ATM. Travis is the sweetest guy, honestly. He's got this goofy laugh that still gets me, and he's always been the type to help out anyone who asks. But that's also his problem. He's a total pushover when it comes to his family, especially his mom. She's in her 60s, widowed for about a decade. And let me tell you, she's a piece of work. She's got this entitled vibe, like the world owes her something. And she's not shy about guilt-tripping people to get her way. I knew she was a handful when I met her, but I didn't realize how bad it'd get until we tied the knot. The money thing started maybe 2 years ago. We were over at her place for Thanksgiving. Picture this cramped little house with peeling wallpaper and a kitchen that smells like burned stuffing because she insists on cooking even though she's terrible at it. Out of nowhere, she pulls me aside while I'm washing dishes and goes, "You know, I've been struggling lately. It'd be nice if you and Travis could help me out a little. Just a couple $100 a month." I was caught off guard, so I just mumbled something like, let me talk to Travis, and figured that'd be the end of it. Spoiler, it wasn't. A week later, she calls Travis and lays it on thick, crying about how she can't afford her bills, how she's all alone since his dad passed, how she sacrificed everything to raise him. Travis comes to me after, looking like a kicked puppy, and says, maybe we could swing it? Just to help her out. I love the guy, but I'm not a doormat. I asked him why she needed it. What's she spending her money on? He didn't know. And when we tried asking her, she got all defensive and said it's not our business. That's when I put my foot down. I told him, I'm not handing over our hard-earned cash when she won't even tell us what's going on. We're not rich, Travis. We've got our own bills. He didn't push it, but I could tell he felt guilty, and that was the first crack in the dam. Fast forward a bit, and it turns out she's awful with money. Like, comically bad. Travis let it slip one day that she's been sinking cash into these sketchy multi-level marketing things. Think overpriced leggings and miracle skincare creams. She's got boxes of this junk stacked in her garage, collecting dust, because of course no one's buying it. She's also got a thing for QVC, those late-night shopping channels, and I've seen packages piling up at her door when we visit. Meanwhile, she's acting like she's one step away from the poorhouse. I'm not saying she's got to live like a monk, but maybe don't blow your social security check on a $300 blender you'll use once, you know? Anyway, I thought we'd settled it after that first no, but she kept at it. Every couple of months, she'd bring it up again, sometimes to Travis, sometimes cornering me at family stuff. I try to be polite, like, we're not in a spot to do that right now, but she'd just huff and mutter stuff under her breath. Then last year, it escalated. She started telling the rest of the family I'm stingy and controlling Travis's money. That's when my sister-in-law, Kelsey, got involved, and oh boy, did that make things worse. Kelsey's 29, single, and lives about an hour away. She's the type who's always got some petty drama going. Like, she'll post vague Facebook statuses about fake people, and then play victim when you ask her what's up. She and I never really clicked, but we were civil enough until this money nonsense. Turns out, she's been giving her mom cash on the sly for years. Not a ton, maybe $50 here and there, but enough that she thinks she's the golden child. When she heard I wouldn't chip in, she lost it. At Christmas last year, she pulled me aside by the tree, lights twinkling, kids running around, and goes, you know, Mom's really struggling, and it's messed up you won't help. I've been doing it forever, and I don't even make as much as you. I was floored. I work my butt off at this marketing job, pulling late nights to keep us afloat, and here's Kelsey acting like I'm some Scrooge hoarding gold coins. I told her, I'm not here to bankroll someone who won't get her act together. And she stormed off, calling me selfish to anyone who'd listen. Since then, family gatherings are a war zone. Mother-in-law gives me the cold shoulder or makes snide comments, like, "Oh, must be nice to have money for that new coat, but not for your family." Kelsey just glares at me across the table, texting God knows what to her little clique. Travis tries to play peacemaker, but he's useless at it. He'll just sit there, picking at his food, saying stuff like, "Can we all just get along?" It's exhausting. I've started dreading holidays, which sucks because I used to love them. Meanwhile, Travis is stuck in the middle, and it's killing us. He won't stand up to his mom. He says it's disrespectful, but he also doesn't want to fight with me. Last month, she called him crying again, and he came to me with this pleading look, like, "Can we just give her something this once?" I snapped. I said, "No, Travis, this isn't one time. She's going to keep asking forever because you won't tell her no." He got quiet, and we didn't talk for the rest of the night. I hate that it's driving this wedge between us, but I'm not caving just to keep the peace. We've got our own life to build, savings, maybe a house someday, and I'm not about to flush it down the toilet for her scam products. Then there's my own family piling on. My parents live a couple hours away, and they're the don't rock the boat types. I vented to my mom about this once, thinking she'd back me up, but nope. She goes, "Sometimes you have to help family, even if they're difficult. It's not worth the drama." My dad chimed in with, "You don't want Travis resenting you over this." Great. So now I'm the bad guy for not enabling her. I told them she's not even my mom. She's Travis's problem, and they just sighed like I'm being dramatic. It's maddening. I get they want harmony, but why is it always on me to suck it up? Oh, and here's the cherry on top. This whole mess is bleeding into my job. I'm up for a promotion at work, more responsibility, better pay, and it's been my focus for months. But lately, I'm so drained from the family crap that I'm dropping the ball. Last week, I spaced out in a meeting, and my boss pulled me aside after to ask if I'm okay. I lied and said yeah, just tired, but I could tell she wasn't buying it. If I miss out on this because I'm too busy dealing with my mother-in-law's tantrums, I'm going to lose it. I've been coming home, pouring a glass of wine, and just staring at the wall, wondering how my life turned into this soap opera. Which brings me to last night. I was cooking dinner, nothing fancy, just spaghetti, when my phone rings. It's her. I almost didn't pick up, but Travis was in the room, and I didn't want him thinking I'm dodging her on purpose. Big mistake. She launches into this rant. "I can't believe you're doing this to me. I raised Travis, gave him everything, and now you're keeping him from helping his own mother. You're a greedy witch, and I don't know what he sees in you." I tried to stay calm, said, "We've been over this. I'm not giving you money when you won't even tell us why you need it." But she just kept yelling. Travis overheard and tried to grab the phone, but I hung up before he could. He looked at me like I'd kicked a dog and said, "You didn't have to do that." I blew up, told him I'm done being the villain because he won't deal with her. We argued for an hour, and he slept on the couch. Now I'm sitting here, replaying it all. I grew up in a house where you worked for what you had. My parents aren't rich, but they never begged anyone for handouts. Maybe that's why this bugs me so much. I get that she's his mom, and Travis feels responsible, but where's the line? Am I supposed to just hand over our money and smile while she trash talks me? Kelsey's making it worse. My parents are no help, and work's slipping through my fingers. I've tried talking to Travis about setting boundaries, but he shuts down every time. I even suggested we see a counselor once, and he acted like I'd suggested we rob a bank. I saw this thing on Reddit a while back about family drama, and it stuck with me. People saying you can't keep setting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. That's how I feel, but then I wonder if I'm being too harsh. She's not my mom, sure, but she's still family, and Travis loves her. Maybe I'm too stubborn, or maybe I'm just tired of being the punching bag. I don't know anymore. So, here I am, spilling my guts. Am I the one at fault here? Should I just give in and pay her to stop the chaos, or am I right to hold my ground? I'm so tangled up I can't see straight. Update. This is what has happened since then. Okay, so it's been about 5 months since that blowout with my mother-in-law over the phone, and holy crap, things have gotten wild. I didn't think it could get worse after she called me a greedy witch and Travis slept on the couch, but life's got a way of proving me wrong. I figured I'd update you all because so much has shifted. Some of it's good, some of it's a total dumpster fire, and there's this new mess that's popped up that I didn't see coming. Here's where we're at. After that night, Travis and I barely spoke for a couple of days. I was fuming, he was sulking, and the tension in our apartment was thick enough to cut with a knife. I'd be chopping veggies for dinner, and he'd shuffle in to grab a beer, and we'd just avoid eye contact like awkward teenagers. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I sat him down on our beat-up couch. Seriously, the thing's got stains from who knows what, and said, "We need to figure this out, or we're not going to make it." He looked wrecked, like he hadn't slept in days, and admitted he hated being stuck between me and his mom. I told him I wasn't trying to make him choose, but I needed him to back me up instead of letting her steamroll us. He nodded, but I could tell he was still torn. Like, his heart wanted to fix it, but his spine wasn't quite there yet. Things with his mom didn't calm down, though. She went radio silent for a week after the call, which I thought was a win, but then she started texting Travis these long, dramatic sob stories. Stuff like, "I guess I'm just a burden to you now," and "I never thought my own son would abandon me." He'd show me the messages, looking guilty as hell, and I'd have to bite my tongue to keep from saying, "She's playing you like a fiddle." I didn't want to push him too hard, though, because I could see he was already cracking. Then, about a month later, she showed up at our place unannounced. I'm talking 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. I'm in sweatpants with a glass of wine, and there's a knock at the door. Travis opens it, and there she is, clutching her purse like she's about to storm the castle. She didn't even say hi, just launched into this speech about how she's on her last dime and needs us to step up as a family. I was sitting on the armrest of the couch, trying not to lose it, while Travis stammered something about how we'd talk about it. That's when I snapped. I stood up and said, "No, we're not talking about it. You've been guilt-tripping us for years, and I'm done. If you need help, get a budget, sell that MLM crap in your garage, but stop acting like we owe you." Her face went red, and she started yelling about how disrespectful I am, how I've poisoned Travis against her. He tried to calm her down, but she stormed out, slamming the door so hard the picture frame on the wall tilted. That was a turning point, but not in the way I hoped. Travis was a wreck after. She's his mom, and I get that it's hard, but he finally agreed we needed a real boundary. He sent her a text the next day saying we love her, but we're not giving her money, and she needs to stop asking. I thought that'd be it, like maybe she'd sulk for a while and then move on. Nope. She doubled down. She started calling him nonstop, leaving voicemails about how ungrateful he is, and then, get this, she told the whole family I'm the reason Travis turned his back on her. Kelsey, of course, ate it up like it was Thanksgiving dinner. She's been texting Travis these snarky little jabs, like, "Guess your wife's got you on a tight leash now," and posting shady stuff on Instagram about toxic in-laws. I saw one the other day, some quote about people who only care about money, and I knew it was aimed at me. Travis has been trying to hold firm, but it's wearing him down. He's quieter these days, spends more time scrolling on his phone or tinkering with stuff in the garage. I can tell he's hurting, and it kills me because I don't want him to feel like he's losing his family over this. We've had some good moments, like he surprised me with takeout from my favorite Thai place a couple weeks ago, and we actually laughed together for the first time in forever, but there's this shadow hanging over us. I keep asking myself if I'm pushing him too hard, if maybe I should have just given her the damn money to avoid all this. But then I think about how she'd never stop, and I'm right back to square one. Meanwhile, my mother-in-law's taken things to a whole new level. About 3 months ago, she started showing up at Travis's work. He's a mechanic at this little shop downtown, and she'll just roll up in her rusty old sedan, claiming she needs emergency repairs or just wants to say hi. The first time, he fixed her brakes for free because she played the "I'm your mom" card. The second time, he called me freaking out because she'd asked his boss if she could borrow $50 from the shop's petty cash, using Travis as leverage. His boss said no, thank God, but now Travis is paranoid she's going to get him fired. He's been picking up extra shifts to avoid her, which means I barely see him, and when I do, he's exhausted and grumpy. And then there's this new problem that's blindsided me. Turns out, Kelsey's been stirring the pot way more than I realized, and now it's personal. Last month, I got a call from my landlord, this older guy who's usually chill, and he sounded pissed. He said someone tipped him off that we've been causing trouble in the building, claiming we're loud and disrespectful. I was like, what are you talking about? We're quiet as mice. He wouldn't say who complained, but then he mentioned a family member had called him directly. I put 2 and 2 together. Kelsey's got my address from some Christmas card thing years ago, and she's petty enough to pull this. I confronted Travis about it, and he admitted she'd asked him for our landlord's number a while back for an emergency, but he didn't think she'd actually use it. Now I'm paranoid we're going to get evicted over her spite, and our lease is up in 2 months. I've been scouring listings for new places, but rent's insane around here, and it's stressing me out on top of everything else. I'm in a weird spot now. On one hand, I'm proud I stood my ground. My mother-in-law hasn't gotten a dime from us, and Travis is at least trying to set limits. But it's come at a cost. Our marriage feels shaky, like we're tiptoeing around landmines. He's loyal to me, but I can see the guilt eating at him every time his mom pulls some new stunt. Kelsey's basically declared war, and this landlord thing has me on edge. I keep imagining her showing up with a megaphone to trash talk me to the neighbors. I'm sleeping like crap, snapping at Travis over dumb stuff like dishes, and I've got this constant knot in my stomach. Part of me wonders if I should have handled it differently. Like, maybe if I'd been softer with her that first time, we wouldn't be here. But then I think about how she's never once apologized or owned up to her mess, and I get mad all over again. Travis keeps saying he'll talk to her, but I don't know if he's got the guts to really shut it down. And now with Kelsey screwing with our living situation, I feel like I'm fighting a battle on 2 fronts. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Things are messy, and I'm tired, but I'm not backing down yet. Am I being unreasonable sticking to my guns? Or am I just digging myself deeper into this hole?
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our daily updates.